Hello friends, welcome to this lecture. This section focuses on PI resources. That's right, resources. First one is he should be able to recruit subjects as he promised in the beginning to the sponsor. Right, so he might not always be able to reach the full target, but at least he should have some certainty that he is able to recruit the predicted number of subjects. And the other one is, second one, is the PI has enough time for the trial, right? Well, in the case of Magnum PI, this might be a little bit tricky because he's a world famous PI and he got so many clinical trials. So we are a little bit doubtful whether he will have enough time for our trial. But we'll see, right? And the third one is PI has adequate facilities for the trial, right? So we have some sort of certainty in the case of Magnum PI because his clinical trial unit is a very famous one, which is known all over the world, so he should have the proper facilities. Nevertheless, it's your duty and my duty as CRA to tour the facilities and see whether it's whether it's adequate for our trial. So you have to check things like you have enough good blood pressure monitors and adequate space for the clinical investigation and in monitoring space, right? That's also important because when you go for monitoring, you should have monitoring space and all the other facilities which is required for the trial. If you have to give IV intravenous injection for the patient, proper facilities for that, or all sorts of facilities. So you have to check for that. And the third one is the most important: well-trained staff. PI should have well-trained staff for the trial, and they should be qualified. So this is very important because even if PI Magnum doesn't have enough time, if he has very well-trained and qualified staff, they can still do the trial, right? So this is very important. And all the staff should be trained on protocol, use of the investigational product, and each of their respective tasks. They should be well trained on that. And the CRA should check the delegation log and the training logs to make sure that all the staff are properly assigned and they are assigned by the PI and they are well trained. So what exactly is a delegation log? So this is a very nice picture. So the PI is like the middleman. He assigns the task given by the sponsor to his minions, literally minions, his subordinates, right? So delegation log is a document which shows how exactly the tasks are delegated by the PI to his subordinates, and we'll look at an actual delegation log to understand this further. So it's a site signature and delegation log. So if you look at the delegation log, it has the sponsor's name written. So in this case, the sponsor is called CARTA Incorporated, and the sponsor protocol number, CARTA 100, and the test material, which in this case is Imagine, and the site number, because there will be a lot of sites, right? And each site is given a site number. So in this case, Dr. P.I. Magnum's site is site 010, and the investigator name and address is also given. So you can see the columns in the delegation log. The first column is name of site personnel, right? And then the role of that site personnel and the task assigned. And that is very important. So the task assigned is written in the form of A, B, C, D, E, but then we will have a separate explanation of each of these tasks. And the initials of that site personnel. This is very important because later on, when they do a certain task, they will write their initials. So you know exactly that the task was done by that site personnel. And then the start date for the trial. So this is very important because that's the start date given by the PI. And then the staff cannot do any study related task before that date because that's the date that the PI authorized this particular site personnel. And then there's a signature for each site personnel. So sometimes the initials and the signature are the same, but we have a signature because they will have to sign off documents, and then you need to cross check that the signature belongs to that particular site personnel. And then authorization by PI. So the PI initials are given in the second last column. So that means that the PI actually authorized on that particular day. In this case, the start date is 11th May 18, and then the PI authorized on that day. And the date of authorization is also given at the end at the last column. So this is very important, because when you are monitoring the trial, you will see certain tasks done, and you have to make sure that the task was done with the properly assigned site personnel on the right day, right? So they cannot do any task before they were authorized to do so. So we look at each of the site personnel. That's the end of the lecture. I'll see you in the next lecture. Ciao for now. Bye bye.